Let's get started, shall we? Hello and welcome. You're noticing that I'm in a fun new environment from what I usually am. My husband and I have the Song of Chicago. So my husband and I have spent the last day and a half reworking my office so that I can fit 2 more bookshelves. I had an L desk that we disassembled partially, and within the L desk there is a standalone desk. So that works wonderfully. I wanted to downsize the desk so that I have more usable book storage space, which I have. You're also going to see the before, which is where up here we had these big 2.5, 3 foot tall stacks of books that did not have room on the shelves that I currently had. We made that work. Honestly, kind of just finished it an hour ago. It looks incredible. I'm so excited to now reorganize all of the books and everything. So that is what I'm so excited about right now. I have to work tomorrow, but I've been off for the last 2 weeks for winter break from my job. It's been wonderful. I filmed this video about a week ago, and it was on my other camera, and I was not feeling myself that day. Didn't feel like doing it, just knew I needed to get it done. I filmed it, and then I kind of just decided to make that be enough. But ultimately I knew that was not okay. So I'm here re-recording this on the new camera that my husband got me, and I'm so excited to be using this. It's the Osmo Pocket 3. It is wonderful. I'm in love with it. I have certainly already personified it and pack bonded to it. So I'm in love with this little guy. He's so cute. So this is meant to be my 2025 end of year wrap up and kind of life update, and then moving into looking at my 2026 TBR. I'm going to go over my original TBR for 2025. Show you all those books here on the screen. I'm going to tell you what I actually read from that, what books I DNF'd and then didn't read, and then what books I subbed in. Because if there's anything about me that is true, it's that I'm going to make a plan step by step by step and then deviate from it. But feel better because at least I had a plan. I did not read a lot of my TBR, and I just was vibing less with fantasy and more with literary fiction, which is good. I love that growth for myself, but did not keep true to the planned TBR. To recap my TBR from 2025, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, Mammoth by Eva Baltasar, Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, 1984 by George Orwell, To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara, The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, The Overstory by Richard Powers, Out of Her Mind, Women Writing on Madness, which was a compilation of all of the best literary fiction, feminist fiction. Woman Eating by Claire Cota, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Marr, Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall, Dance of Thieves by I don't remember who, When the Moon Hatched, Sarah Parker, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, Circe by Madeline Miller, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, Bright Dead Things by Ada Limon, Daughter of Light by Garrett Kerbal, I think, Mating by Norman Rush, White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, A Wolf Called Wander, which is a middle grade chapter book. I don't remember who wrote this. Hyperbole and a Half and Solutions and Other Problems, 2 separate graphic novels by Ali Brosh. Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate, The Crucible by Arthur Miller, Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Nora Zealy Hurston, Letters to the Person I Was, I don't remember who wrote this, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, and A Man Called Uva, Frederick Backman. So that was a very ambitious list for me. I was just not vibing with fantasy. I don't know what happened. A lot of this is fantasy. Some of these I started and just didn't vibe with, so I put them down. I'm not opposed to picking them back up later. It just probably won't be anytime soon. If I own it, I'm not gonna rehome it. I'll say that. So it'll always be there for me to turn back to. What I did read was Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, which I would have given 5 stars. It truly, it would have given, it's on my all-time favorite shelf. It would have gotten 5 stars for me, but I really, really, really disliked how ambiguous the ending was not a fan of that, so that is why it's 4.5, but it is on my all-time favorite shelf because the writing is absolutely stunning. The entire book, even the bad ending, the writing is stunning, and I cannot say enough about it. Incredible. 1984 by George Orwell. I gave this 3 stars. I didn't like it. It sucked. 3 stars because it's called a classic and has held on through society for a long time. It is a complete book that he wrote, and the narrator for the audiobook, I thought, did a good job. Those are the 3 reasons why I got 3 stars for me. So I did start, I'm not done with what I read, but I did start The Name of the Wind and Mammoth, as well as To Paradise. I will be finishing them. I just haven't been able to yet. A lot of my reading year, like the 3rd quarter of the reading year, 3rd or 4th quarter, October, November-ish, so 4th quarter, was taken up by the Booker Prize reading challenge that I assigned to myself. The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman was so good, and I gave it 5 stars, but it's not on my all-time favorites. It had me hanging on to every word, for sure, and I cried, and I, felt all the emotions, and it was great, but I just couldn't, the story didn't stick with me forever. I thought about it for the rest of the day, for sure, and then from that point on, just, I remember every single thing about it, and it's a great story, and I would recommend it. Just something about it was not best of all time quality, but it was a very good book. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, incredible. All-time favorite immediately. It's on my shelf. It'll never leave my shelf. It's incredible, along with The Great Alone and The Four Winds. No, The Great Alone is not up there, but The Four Winds is up there. Maybe The Great Alone is up there. Am I crazy and I just don't remember? Anyway, and then I also read A Thousand Splendid Suns, and it was not bad. It was really, really heavy and really, really hard to get through emotionally, because it was just a lot of really, really blatant abuse and violence toward women. And I just was not. It is a well-written book in every way. It's very well developed, but I just can't get past how emotionally heavy it was. It was not a read that I enjoyed. It was necessary, but I did not enjoy it. Those are the books that I did read. So that is what? Am I crazy? I just didn't highlight. Oh, I read, Woman Eating by Claire Coda. Was an okay story. I think the story was 3 stars, but the narrator for the audiobook was incredible, out of this world, wonderful, greatest of all time audiobook narrator. Her voice is incredible. Loved that, loved her, and I think I gave it probably 4 stars. It wasn't a bad story, it just was kind of blah, but the narration makes it all worth it. Her voice is incredible. I started On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous and just was not vibing with it at the time, but I will in the future. The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, I started and I DNF'd because once I realized that it was just him giving reviews about little things in life, I kind of didn't care. I don't think I'll pick it back up again. I do have friends and book club members that have said that it's one of their favorite books of all time. I won't get rid of it, and if I for some reason am in the right mindset to pick it up again and try it again, I certainly will. I'm happy to do that. Oh, I also started Six of Crows. Was not vibing with that. Was not the best with the audiobook narrator, and I was way too busy to just sit down and read it at the time. So I also started A Man Called Uwe, and just was not vibing with the storyline at all. It is one of my friends, Frederick Backman is one of my friend's favorite authors. And then what I did not read was War and Peace, the Overstory, Out of Her Mind, because I've kind of read all of the works that make up Out of Her Mind. It's just nice to have them in a small collection. Assistant to the Villain, Hood Feminism, Dance of Thieves, When the Moon Hatched, Six of Crows, Bright Dead Things, Daughter of Light, White Fragility, A Wolf Called Wander, Hyperbole and a Half, Solutions and Other Problems, The Crucible, The Priory of the Orange Tree, Their Eyes Were Watching God, and Letters to the Person I Was. Oh, and A Man Called Uwe. So I didn't read most of it, which sucks. That's not a super fun thing to say or metric or whatever, but I will show you what I did read. So I'm excited to do that. The first thing I read this year was Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, and it was a book club read, I think, for last December, and then our meeting was mid-January, and so I didn't have time to read it in December, so I read it in January. So for me, it was my first read. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was great. The vibe, the descriptions, everything, very beautifully written. Loved it. The movie came out recently, and myself and a handful of other book club members, we all got together and went to a local theater to see it when it came out, and it was a really fun experience. The Women by Kristen Hanna, which I also gave 5 stars. I thought it was great. In hindsight, I would probably have given this, in fact, I think I would give this 4.5 stars out of 5 if I could, but Goodreads sucks, so it was 5 because 4 is a little too low for that to me. So the next thing I read was Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. Blue Sisters I gave 5 stars. I thought it was great. It was really well written, and I enjoyed the family dynamic. The story was kind of meh, just normal, like average, but the writing and like the plot framing and everything was great. Next, I read The Wedding People by Alison Espach. I gave that 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I was in a bit of a reading slump after Blue Sisters. Like I was just kind of bored, and I think life also was getting busy around that time for me. Like at work, I was really like settled into the position, so I obviously got more on my plate. The Wedding People was just like a fun weekend thing that I was able to start the audiobook like on a Friday afternoon while I was at work, and then finish it by Sunday. And it was great. It was so much fun to me. The Light Between Oceans. I gave this 5 stars. Like I said, I thought it was great. I'm saying that for every single one of them. I'm sorry. It's like my reflex to say this, but my review is just one all caps word, and it's heartbreaking. And it really was so sad the way everything played out, the way things worked, but it was really, really well done. I genuinely, with the writing, I felt like I was on the island with them and loved it. So well done. Then I read Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. This came at a really bad time. So I started reading Martyr on February 4th. The range of dates is crazy for this. I started reading it on February 4th and I finished it April 7th. My mom died in early March. So I started reading this and I was busy at work, and then my mom got sick, and then she passed away very soon after. And then we drove down to Louisiana from Chicago for the funeral, and then we drove back up. And I tried to read more of it on the ride up, and I did, but I didn't get to finish it on the ride because I was honestly my mom just died, and I was just at her funeral. If you think I'm going to be mentally present, I'm not. So, yeah. But when I finally finished it, it was great. 5 stars for the writing alone. He could have rewritten the phone book, and if he had put his own spin on the writing, incredible. Love it. Kaveh Akbar, love you. Then this was a book club read, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I gave this 4 stars. I think it's an important story. It's really, 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 really heavy. For that reason, I did not enjoy it, but can recognize that it was well done. Then I read Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This was also just a fun little like palate cleanser in between. Really heartwarming story. It did kind of keep me on my toes because I didn't really anticipate what was going to happen except for like once or twice, and they were minor things. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Trying a new thing where I don't spoil everything. I notoriously don't care about spoilers in videos. Like, I'm gonna talk to you about what happened in the book, whether you like it or not. And hopefully, you've read it. Then I read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, the first book, and didn't realize that the second book was out. And then I read 1984, which sucked and was a miserable experience. Didn't like the book at all. And then halfway through 1984, I found out that the second book was out, and that not only was there a second book for the Emily Wilde trilogy, there was a third book, which was also out. So I was thrilled, and that was my only motivation to make it all the way through 1984 by George Orwell. I gave that, like I said, 3 stars. 1984, I gave 3 stars. 5 stars to Emily Wilde book 1, 3 stars to 1984, and then 5 stars to Emily Wilde 2 and 3. Incredible. They have their own shelf in our living room. Like, I bought the same like copy of the whole set, and they're stunning. Beautiful, wonderfully written, super fun, cozy fantasy, intellectual cozy fantasy, and the audio book narrators, Elle Potter and Michael Dodds. I hope you live wonderful, beautiful, long, healthy, happy lives solely for the work that you put into that narration for that series. Incredible, and I love you both. Happy New Year. Then I read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and I am still working on getting her mailing address to send my therapy bill. For The Nightingale alone, much less The Four Winds, The Nightingale, The Four Winds, The Great Alone, The Women, and God, anything else. Jesus. I love her, and it's a mission of mine to read everything she's ever written. It's gonna take me a hot minute, but plan to. Our next book club read was The Enchanted April. I gave this 3 stars mostly because it read like a Jane Austen novel, and I'm not a huge fan of Jane Austen's writing. I can recognize that her writing and her works are obviously a strong building block of the literary landscape over the course of time, and I enjoy the movies more than I do the books, but society, like Regency type novels, are not for me to read. To watch, yes, like I love Bridgerton, I love all of the Jane Austen movies, whatever, but reading it to me can get just a little bit boring. So The Enchanted April gave that vibe. I gave it 3 stars. I did the audiobook, and I was also really busy at work, so it kind of got like half effort from me. That was partly because I could recognize that it just maybe wasn't for me, but didn't want to give up on it because it was really short. Madonna in a Fur Coat was next by Sabahat Ali. I gave this 5 stars. purely for the writing at the very beginning and the very end. So maybe 30% of the book is what got me to give it 5 stars. The last 2 chapters saved it for me. Best part of the book by far, but the rest of it was definitely necessary. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5, but Goodreads doesn't do halves, and only a 4 out of 5 would be an insult in my opinion based on the feelings the end gave me. Beautiful prose in chapters 7 and 8. So after Madonna in a Fur Coat, I read I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. And I gave this 4 stars. And I think that it is safe to say that I Who Have Never Known Men is a novel that you read in real time, and then everything that you should think while you're reading it hits you after you finish the book when you're just reflecting. I really didn't think that I enjoyed reading it that much, but it stuck with me for a few days, and I had more questions than I had answers to anything. There was a lot of unknown, but it really got me thinking, and I enjoyed that process, so that was fun. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was just a good experience. It wasn't like incredible or out of this world, but it was a very interesting experience. The next book was a book club pick, Against the Loveless World by Susan Abelhawa. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and I don't know why, but I don't remember anything at all about this book. And every other book that I've read, I could tell you about in deep detail. So I think maybe I read this in July, like at the end of July. So I don't know what was going on then that may not have made this stick to me. I don't want to say anything insulting like the story isn't memorable, but it's the only one I don't remember. Up next was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. My husband loathes this book. He hates. I thought it was great. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and it was a really surprising read to me. Or it was surprising to me that I really enjoyed this read. I did not think that I would like it based on how the audiobook sounded. I do a lot of like immersive reading. I'll either audiobook while I'm at work, but if I'm at home and I have a physical copy of the book, I'll listen to the audiobook and then also do like the physical book with like in front of my face. The Road was like that. I didn't expect to get emotional, but I did, especially with a male narrator and such a like hyper male narrator. So yeah, it was good. The development of the relationship between the father and the son, and then the son being by himself and having to go through what he went through at the end, is what really sold it for me. It was great. I loved it. Then I read Clear by Kara Davies. 3 stars is what I gave this book, and I don't know if I can say anything nice like this. I gave it 3 stars because it's a book, and the story was not nearly as bad as 1984, so it's kind of sad that they both get the same rating. Clear was just kind of like very meh. And it was also very short, and I tend to be skeptical of like standalone novels that are really like too short. Like under 300 pages, I find it hard to build a plot, build characters, develop everything the way that it needs to be developed, and then publish it. I'm not confident in a book that's like that unless it has a crazy like cult following. Then I'm probably not going to enjoy it if it's too short. And that's kind of what I went through with Clear. And then I read Woman Eating by Claire Coda, which I loved. Like I said, narrator's voice for the audiobook was incredible. Loved it. The story was interesting. Female vampire who is like with her mom in her vampirism, and then her mom, she separates herself from her mom, has to put her in like a home, and the whole issue is that they have been surviving on pig's blood instead of human blood, and now she's living by herself, and she's going through the struggle of like coming of age. Even though she's like a grown woman, she's an artist. Essentially the book is this whole struggle of like her becoming friends with humans and not being able to like drink their blood or like, you know, eat them as vampires do, and having to struggle through starvation basically while trying to obtain like a reliable supplier of pig's blood so that she can sustain and live and be in society. Then I read The Island of Missing Trees. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I thought this was great. It was so interesting, but I will say I was a little confused at times about whether or not the tree was in love with a man in the story, and you'll just have to read it to figure out what the fuck that means. The next book turned out to be a 5 out of 5 star read. I would have given it a 10 out of 5 stars if I could. So good. It is my top 3 all-time favorites. 2 of the top 3 are by the same author. The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. Politically based, beautiful writing, beautiful storyline. I can't say enough. She's incredible. The story's incredible. The characters are incredible. The plot, it's all stunning. Please read this. Please, I beg you, please read this. Especially if you're a girl or you identify as a girl. The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. Moment of silence. I'm a little bit congested and I don't know what's going on. Then I read Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was just okay. Like, it wasn't bad, and the 4th star that it got for me, the story I think is 3 stars. The 4th star came from the narrator choice of Meryl Streep. That was it. I could listen to Meryl talk all day long. And I got like a 9-hour audiobook of her just reading a story that's relevant to her, because the narrator is an actress, or was an actress. And now she lives on a farm with her 3 daughters, 2 or 3 daughters. And she's looking back and talking about her life. So then, after I read Tom Lake, I decided to plague myself with the challenge of reading the Booker Prize shortlist for 2025, because I've always enjoyed the Booker Prize winning books that I've read, and this time I was in a position to catch it in time for it to be announced, get a hold of all of the books, and then read them all before the announcement on November 10th. September 29th, I started and I read Audition by Caiti Kitamura, and every day that I had to suffer through another hour of this very short audiobook, I would rather have cut my throat and bled out than finish reading this book. It was horrible. I hated it. Hated it. Gave it 1 star. If I could have given it a -1, I would have hated it. Flesh by David Zalé was the second. This was 4 stars, and I was very surprised by a male author talking about sex in a boy's life over the course of his life as he grows into adulthood, and how your relationship with sex can really have a huge effect on your life in general. It was actually really well done, and I was very, very surprised at my reaction. And then I had to suffer through a 24-hour audiobook called The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny, and I feel like this was just really, 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 really excessive. This was so long, it was no longer even enjoyable. There was so much character development with every single character that did not need the development, and I kind of wish I could get the enormous amount of time back that I spent pushing myself to get through this book. I hated it. I gave it 2 stars because it is a book, and because the quality of the physical book that I bought was really good. And that's all I have for that. And then I read The Rest of Our Lives by Benjamin Markovits, and this was absolutely mid. Nothing incredible about it, just mid. Flashlight by Susan Choi, 5 stars. I'm so surprised that Flesh by David Zalé beat this book out. But this book probably has more relevance to me now because my mom died recently and had an illness that brought her down over the course of her life, over the course of like 10 years of her life, before it finally ended her life. And a fair portion of this book is from the perspective of a chronically ill mother. So yeah, this made me cry, and it gave me some kind of wild insights to what my mom's day in and day out may have looked like after I moved away. I thought it should have won. And then the 6th book I didn't get to read, and it was The Land in Winter by Andrew Miller, and I didn't read it, but it was there. That was the 6th book, and I didn't get to finish it. And then I was in Walmart one day grocery shopping by myself, and I always stop by the book section just looking around whether I'm gonna buy anything or not. I just enjoyed looking, seeing what they have, whatever. I was in Walmart, and it was late November, like almost Thanksgiving, and I looked up and I saw like this cozy winter, I mean, you're seeing the cover, this cozy like winter cabin cover for a book, and I just was drawn to it. I picked it up, and then I saw that the author was Nora Roberts, and that is significant to my life because of a woman who was like a second mother to me in some capacity, or a fun aunt. I actually wrote about this experience of like finding and getting the book in just like a little writing piece on my Substack. It's the first thing that I've like written and published online for a long time. I will put a link to that below if you would like to go check it out and read it. That'd be sick. Feel free to leave a comment here or there if you have anything to say, or any critiques or whatever, any feedback at all. And then I made the good, wise, beautiful, wonderful decision to pick up Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. This, as soon as I finished it, first of all, not even as soon as I finished it, the last hour of the audiobook, I was cooking gumbo in my kitchen with my headphones on, and my jaw was on the floor the entire time. The entire time. As soon as the book ended, I kind of could not believe what had just happened. And so I sat and I cried for the next hour. I went through a like half box of tissues. It was an experience, but it soared to the #1, like greatest of all time, my favorite book I've ever read. I cannot recommend it enough. Riding that high, I read Wild Dark Shore December 4th, December probably 2nd through 4th. My dates are wrong here on Goodreads, but then from December 19th through December 28th, I made it through the audiobook of Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. McConaughey. And that I gave 4 stars. Still a great story, just was not as striking and didn't leave as heavy of an impact on me as Wild Dark Shore. Same narrator, so that was kind of cool. It was like I was reading a different part of her life, or like a past life of hers. December 29th, when I thought I was done reading, I was at home all day and had nothing going on and decided to start an audiobook for The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. And I finished it yesterday, December 31st, and it was like a very last minute read of the year. And I thought it was the most... A moment ago when I said my top 3 books, my top 3 favorite books, one of them was Wild Dark Shore and 2 of them were written by the same person, Marjan Kamali, The Stationery Shop and The Lion Women of Tehran. Incredible books. I cannot say enough. Obviously, I gave it 5 stars. If I could have given it 1,000, I would have. That's actually, I'm looking now at my review. It says if I could give this book 1,000 out of 5 stars, I would. Absolutely incredible. Loved. So that is my 2025 TBR / actually read recap. So now I'm going to move into my 2026 TBR, which, if you know me, you know that I am a bit of a planner nerd. This is my journal ecosystem, of which I'm quite proud. It's a traveler's notebook. I have an evil eye charm and then like a little gold heart locket charm. This incredible pen that I got at Kinokuniya bookstore that's like an hour away from us. You can build your own. Like it's the ink wells it's customizable. So I got this like really pretty like light pink pen body. The top of it is on a hinge and it pops open like this. And then you just pick whatever inkwells you want to go in here. So I did blue, pink, and red because blue, pink, and black, sorry. Because blue and black I can write with at work. And then the pink is just for fun because I love pink. And it's a 0.3 size pen. And they had the option of 0.3, 0.4, and 0.5. I got 2 0.3 pen barrels, this one and then like a baby blue. And then I just got a bunch of different inkwells, but they had a brown inkwell and then like a beige colored pen body, but it was like 0.5 and I only really write with 0.3, so I'll have to order that online and I just haven't gotten to yet. But this is the pen of my life. Very excited about this. I have 3 different little like pen loops on here. I could actually show you what I'm talking about. Here, and here. The little strap comes around the front, and when I open it, there's also like this brass binder clip that came with it. But when I open it, the first thing you're going to see is a little random traveler's journal notebook. Traveler's journal, like little passport size notebook, just for like if I need to keep something out and like at my desk that I'm working on. Then I have my Hobonichi weeks, which is one of my favorite things. Hot Girls Hit Curbs, Chasing That Scholastic Book Fair High, Eat the Rich, obviously, and then Don't Hate Me Because I'm a Little Cooler. And then this little cat sticker came from Paper and Pencil, which is like a local stationery shop. On the back, I have I Support Women's Wrongs, All of My Flabbers Are Gasted, Fuck Off, and then this sticker was labeled Party Animal, and I just thought it was really cute. So I'm going to show you that in a second. The rest of my traveler's journal this is just a journal. I like this paper. It's thick enough that there's not a lot of bleed through, and it's clamped shut because all of my secrets are in here. But this is for like long form writing and journaling. If I really have something that I just need to get off my chest, I will do it here in this notebook, and then any like writing exercises, any kind of long form writing period is in here. This I'll show you in a second. This is just like a pencil board, but it's like the Traveler Spirit Preservation Society. It's just a pencil board. See, and I like the foil aspects of it, but it's really thick. It's got a ruler and grid on the back. It's just nice, but it's like this like plasticky thickness. This is a reading. It's labeled as a reading in a book club, like note journal, but it's really just if I am reading an actual book and if I'm reading and I need to make notes about characters, or if I need to draw out like a family tree, like if there's not one in the book or online that I can find, then I'll do this. That's kind of all I do in here. It's just notes on reading. And then I also use it to store my like little watercolors that I was doing. So this is just like a pumpkin. This was from like Thanksgiving fall time. This was my first watercolor that I did, which was just a little pet, like chicken. But I have more to come on watercolor later, you will see. In this folder, I have some like pre-cut watercolor paper, some feeling stickers, some notes here about like what I wanted to track in my weeks, this little like pocket card slot situation, a zipper pocket, which is where I keep all my stickers, notably Coffee Monster stickers, and then any stickers I get from Paper and Pencil. And then in the back folder, I have just extra bands in case any of the bands on my notebook snap. If you don't know how a traveler's journal works, it's just a bunch of bands in the spine of this book, and then you loop the band through the middle of the book and it keeps it from like falling out. So it's really stretchy. You can fit a ton of stuff in here. It's great. This is probably one of my favorite things that I've found. This is just a postcard of Wrigley Field because we live in the area. I do a lot of sticky notes, like a lot of sticky notes. I dislike the permanence of ink, but I will write on a sticky note all day. And this is an accordion like paper that it's like a little folder, it opens up, and then this whole thing is just an accordion. So I just put my sticky notes on here, and then I can open it whenever I like, go through and like update the sticky note, throw it away if I need to, if it was something that I already did. One of my favorite things. In my Hobonichi, I think I showed you before, maybe at a glance, that I had an entire separate like reading journal, and I started the Hobonichi weeks for this coming year, which starts today. Today's January 1st. In my Hobonichi weeks, so I have just some stickers, little like Westcott ruler. There's like an About Me page, and then you do your monthlies here. And then after monthlies, you get to weekly pages. And the Hobonichi week starts in December of the previous year. So this started in December of 2025, which was a great opportunity for me to practice, I guess. So this was my first week spread, and I hated it. I hated this. It looks gross to me. I hate it. My second week, I was blown away by. Loved it. I love the color theme. I love everything about it. The third week of December, hated this color blue, but loved the Coffee Monster sticker use. And this was last week. The last week of December, and then this is the current week, and then you go into January, and I have tabs here for these: January, February, March, all the way through the year to December, and then you get to the notes pages in the back. So this is just like, it gives you useful abbreviations, notes, and then you can log things as you go here. And I can move you back up. So what I'm doing now is just keeping track of things in the back of my Hobonichi weeks. I haven't updated this, obviously, but there's Wild Dark Shore, and what I'm just gonna do is print out a picture of the cover and glue like sticky tape on the back of it to stick it in, do whatever star rating I have, and then the dates that I read. We were supposed to read The Orphan Keeper for, I think, last month's book club read, and I tried to start it, couldn't get behind the audiobook narrator, and then DNF'd it because I didn't have time to read it. So I need to update this to match my Goodreads for the books that I've read since then. I read 32 books in 2025, so I left myself enough room for, I think, 35 here. And 32 was really pushing it for me because I forced myself through the Booker Prize, like 5 of the 6 books in like 6 weeks, I think. I think we had like 8 weeks in between the shortlist announcement and the decision date. I left myself enough room for that. And then I started my TBR list. So 2026 TBR list, and I'll go through this with you. But I just drew little grid pages or grid boxes on the pages, skipping a line in between the back page, and I left myself plenty of room. I think like 4 total pages. And then after that, I do a breakdown of finances, monthly bills, subscriptions that we have, common grocery expenses, and then New Year expenses, so like car registration, the parking permit, whatever. And then on the next page, I do this little keeping up with Enzo spread, just his information from like the vet and his visits and grooming appointments and weight and things like that. I was doing a holiday card project where I got like this cute like downloadable card from Etsy, and then I made a photo print. I'll put it here. Here's a picture of the card and the photo print. I did a custom watercolor for each person. I'll put pictures of those, some of those right here, not all of them. I still have 8 more to do, and it's January 1st, so I'm running behind. I had this wonderful idea on like December 10th. Like, I was way late in the game trying to do this for 45 people. Ran myself into the ground with it, but may have gotten a lifelong hobby of watercolor painting out of it because I took the time to... After doing the first few paintings, I realized that I was using like $6 Walmart dry pan palette, like watercolor paint, and that I was having difficulty getting like pigment, like saturation out of those, and it was kind of grainy. It just wasn't great. So now I have gone into watercolor full force. I have an artist grade palette, 2 different pans, like $200 worth of watercolor supplies. Part of that is some artist grade like paper that it killed me to buy, but I bought as a treat for myself. So once I finish all of the last like 8 watercolor paintings for the cards. That will be my reward to crack open what's right here, actually. To crack open the Arches travel paint pad, but it's just like watercolor paper, but it's a certain quality and I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. When I was doing this whole project, I bought 2 books of stamps and got the holiday collection, and I just thought this stamp was so freaking cute, and so I just placed it here, and I kind of am giving myself room to collect stamps. Is that weird? I don't care if it's weird. I'm just saying that, like, I'll have to go randomly be like, hey, post office or UPS or whatever, what stamps do you have? So I don't know what that's gonna be, but it's got its own little page. I think that's all I have back here. That's my Hobonichi. That's where I'm gonna be tracking my reading and just kind of everything else that's fun for me. I have a system in my life. Thank you very much. I have a work planner that is custom. I've customized every page in this beautiful, beautiful planner. If you need a planner that is fully customizable to you, I highly recommend Agendio. It's agendio.com. You can customize truly every single bit. So this is the January spread. You can pick the fonts. You can pick if you want, like, what you want in each square, the sides. My favorite part of this is these perforated corners. So you can just tear to the date, and that way you can just grab it and pull the pages up. It's like its own little bookmark. You can put random things in each box. You can have the moon phases. You can have different everything. This color I customized, so that's for January. February is pink. March is green. April is like this lilac. And then May is yellow. June is like this orange red. July is the same color, maybe a little darker. August is like this burnt yellow. September is blue again. October, orangish yellow. November, grayish brown. This is a Taylor Swift inspiration, gray November. I've been down since July. And then December, light blue again. Daily pages look like this. I choose to do a daily planner. You can do weekly, you can do monthly, weekly, and yearly. Yearly, monthly, weekly, daily. You can do all of it, or some of it, or none of it, whatever you want. They can customize for you. My dailies look like this. I like to have a little bit of fun in my work planner and a never-ending like area of room for the to-dos. And then if I have any meetings, here's my AM and my PM. Any other notes I need to make, there's room to make them. The weekends go on one page, and then in the very back, it goes through all of December. It goes through January 3rd. These are typically like $80. There's a pocket in the back. I typically have paid $80 for these. When I purchased this one, we were still in the effects of this super fun, wonderful tariff situation was just happening, just beginning. This cost me $120, and it's worth every penny. I know it will be. But it gets to go to work with me now because it's January. I have work tomorrow, and I will be there. Also, can I just talk about this? This is a little corduroy strawberry print book sleeve that I got from Amazon. It's so cute. There's a really good little quality strap. It's a zipper on the inside, pocket on the front. I'm currently reading Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong, and it's a hardcover. It's huge, and I will just show you. It fits beautifully and with plenty of room. Like, it's in there. Plenty of room to zip. I can fit my Kindle, my phone, my wallet, something else in here if I want to carry it this way, or if I just want to throw this in the backpack. It's great, but it's so cute. One of my friends had the strawberry Coach purse. It's like white with like a vibrant red strawberry print, and I saw this and it reminded me of that because I have no business carrying a Coach purse. It reminded me of that. I saw it and it was $10 and I scooped it up real quick. Let me put away my Hobonichi. Oh, let me not actually. I need to go to the TBR page to tell you about my TBR for 2026. The books that I have on my 2026 TBR. Once There Were Wolves, which I already read and checked off. Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong, which I'm currently reading. I'm 40 pages into it, and I was hoping to get it done by the end of the year, but I didn't because of the stationery shop. The book, The Stationery Shop. Mona's Eyes by Thomas Schlesser. My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Ordinary Monsters by M.L. Rio. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Mistborn by just the first one, that's all I'm hoping for, by Brandon Sanderson, and I have the mass market copy, so I'm hoping I can throw that shit in my bag and actually get through it. The Name of the Wind, I want to finish. These are some of the rollovers from last year that I didn't get to finish. The Name of the Wind, which I think I'm like 40% of the way through and then just stopped picking it up for other things. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. The Name of the Wind is by Patrick Rothfuss. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. All the Light We Cannot See. I don't remember who that's by. The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Also don't remember who that's by. Mating by Norman Rush. Circe by Madeline Miller. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel is something that I just saw in Barnes & Noble, thought it was cool, picked it up, and now I have it. And I learned that it's part of a trilogy, so that'll be fun. The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan. Challenger. I don't remember who wrote this, but I heard about it from Tracy Thomas last, December 2024, talking about her favorite books of the year with the New York Times book review. Frankenstein, I have never finished, and I feel like I should because I really want to watch the movie, the new one with Jacob Elordi, but I don't know if I'm going to because I keep starting it and I keep not finishing it because I hate the format that it's written in, and I don't know if it's necessary. One of my friends from book club said that it's not necessary to read it before you watch the movie, but Dracula, have never finished. I need to get that done. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. James by Percival Everett. Intermezzo, who happens to be right here. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Les Mis by Victor Hugo. And I have both of those up there, and they're big as fuck. I'm not even kidding you. They're 3 inches thick. They're huge. But ambition lives in me. The Overstory by Richard Powers. Alchemized by Sen Lin Yu, which is manacled but edited and released as its own thing. I never read it as manacled, but I did download it when she was like, hey, you better download it now if you want to keep it this way because I have to pull it and edit it to be published, which is so good for her. So good for her. It would have to be her, right? Or them. I just don't think a guy would have written it. Alchemized, 107 Days by the Queen of My Life, second only to Taylor Swift. Kamala Harris. Phantom of the Opera, The Count of Monte Cristo, Quicksilver by Callie Hart, Mammoth by Eva Baltasar, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, The Picture of Dorian Gray for the third time. I just love rereading it. I love the writing. Oscar Wilde. Love you. To Paradise, I want to finish because I started it this year and just was too overcome by the Booker Prize push to finish it. Jack Edwards has recommended Didion and Babbitts before, and I haven't read anything by Joan Didion or Eve Babbitts, but the way he pitched this book in the story, and I think it's autobiography, memoir? I don't know, but I'm interested, so I'll find out. The Coin by Yasmin Zaher, The Lost Bookshop, Burning with Benefits, Bird School, Is a River Alive? Those two are nonfiction, so that's a new branch for me. The Stationery Shop of Tehran, check. That's 2 already off my list. The last thing I have for now, and this, I left myself room to grow with this, is Jeanette McCurdy's second book, and I have a copy somewhere of I'm Glad My Mom Died, but she's releasing a new book called Half His Age, and I'm so excited about it. The cover is very intriguing, so I'm excited to learn about it. Very excited to see what it's about, what's in it. Oh, and then there are... Was that on there? Did I cover that? I'm kind of all over the place, and I'm hoping that one day they will all just hit me at the same time, and then I'll have this with me, and I can update everything. Do I have? I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and write these in. 3 things that I realized on my way in here that were not on my TBR list for 2026 that are supposed to be. When I say they're not on them, I haven't written them in my Hobonichi yet. But this is a rollover from last year, Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. Recently heard something really cool about it, so I want to know what that's about. There, space there. So didn't read this last year. Was a full plan too. White Nights by Dostoevsky. And this is going to be one of our book club reads. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. And I've never read anything by Baldwin, so I'm excited about this. Even more so after I heard the blurb for the book. Can you just tell me if I'm gonna cry? Have you read this? Did it make you cry? Because it seems like it's gonna make me cry. It feels that way. You'll see when I do. I got this pen loop for $7.50 at Paper and Pencil in Andersonville, but I got these off of Amazon for I got these off of Amazon for $4 for a pack of 6 of them, and they're so strong. If I were able to grab this pen loop as I was falling off a cliff, as long as the planner were secured, it would not slip off. It's crazy. It was impossible to get on. Our current book club read is All Fours by Miranda July. I want so badly, so badly to read and like this book, but I mentally am just not there right now. The winter weather and the break and exhaustion has just left me unable to sit down with this book. And when I try the audiobook, Miranda July, is the narrator, and her voice just is not for me. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something I can sit through for quite some time. So I think I probably won't be reading this, but I'm afraid that will be a bit of a disappointment to any new members that we have. So I started this book club when I moved to Chicago in March of 2024, and I just posted in the neighborhood Facebook page saying hey, I just moved here. I want to read a lot of literary fiction. Is anyone else interested in doing that? And it's a very artsy, young, hip place, neighborhood. So it blew up, and immediately we got 130-ish members in the Facebook group. And then that equated to like a group of maybe like 10 people, 10 like consistent like every month people, or almost every month. At our last meeting, one of the members that was there was like, have we had any like new interest or like any new members join or anything lately? And I was like, no, but it is like, we are going into the new year, so maybe I should repost it and just like broadcast like, hey, just, you know, new year, new you, looking to join a book club, you know, whatever, in the Facebook group again, and then in the Chicago girls group. I posted it there, and then that was like a Friday night that I think I made the post. And then by Monday morning, we doubled in members. So now we're at 260 members. The book club is Page Turners Anonymous, so that we can call them PTA meetings. So that's fun. But now we have, I think, 16 people that have RSVP'd to this next meeting. And it's not even all of the regular members. So I'm very excited to meet new people and have like the group grow. And I hope they have a great time. So I'm in the process of planning that to make it all work. I just have to solidify one more thing with the venue, and then we'll be set. And I am very excited about it. Trying to make sure I don't miss any housekeeping things. Oh, I have several things edited, or not edited, several things filmed from the past, like footage from LitFest this past year, 2025 LitFest in Chicago. It was fun, it was okay, it wasn't anything like crazy, but it was cool to see. I may or may not post those. I might just cut that part out and just start fresh. Oh, and then the last thing I have is, maybe you've been on this side of TikTok, maybe not, who knows. If you have, great. If not, then you're just learning about this today, and maybe it will get you like it got me. I was introduced to the concept of a house purse, and it resonated with me. So I'm going to show you the house purse that I got for myself yesterday, which is literally just a tote bag. I was at Walmart. This was $18, and it's like this like soft cushiony material. There's a back pocket that has like a magnet thing, and then it unzips at the bottom to go over luggage if you want it to. There are pockets on each side, and it's very, very soft and cushiony, which is why I wanted it for what I'll put in it. It won't be damaging or like coarse or rough or anything. There's a little like clip here if you need to clip anything on, 2 more pockets, and then it's got 2 straps like this that can extend and get longer, and then it has a zipper closure. And then on the inside, there are pockets in all the places that there are on the outside, and then a big zipper pocket. So this is what is going to be my house purse. It sounds silly when I say it out loud, but I love the idea. And I do take stuff all around the house with me. So I'm going to show you what I think I would put in my house purse. What I know I'm going to put in my house purse. I don't have all of it here with me. Some of it's in the living room, but I can at least show you what it is. Definitely journal, of all things. I also have like a little travel watercolor set, so that'll probably be in there as well, with like a small bottle of water. That's all you need. My book, pouch or not, which currently is The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. Those 2 things. My Kindle, of course, because I have different things on there. I tend to read fantasy on my Kindle, and then literary fiction and like memoir stuff in like hardcover or paperback books or audiobooks. Definitely some pens, which I have a whole stationery bag over here that I just got that fits everything, so I don't have to downsize anymore, and it's cute. My phone, obviously, a nail file, which if you see me talking with my hands today, you know that I am a big like fan of doing my nails, making sure my nails are done. These are like a week and a half old, and I make my own press-ons. So these are my press-ons for the last like week. And when I went yesterday to buy the 2 brand new beautiful bookshelves that I'm so happy to have, each bookshelf claimed a nail from me. So I'm gonna spend the rest of my evening today, because I work tomorrow before the weekend. Like, I just work tomorrow and then I'm off Saturday and Sunday, obviously. I'm gonna redo my nails tonight so that I'm set, and then this weekend I can just kind of like refresh the house and take care of that. But I always have a nail file on me for if I break a nail and I need to file down my natural nail, like if there's a jagged edge or something or a roughness, or if I just notice wear and tear on my nails and just want to shape up the edges a bit. I enjoy that. Lip balm, obviously. My lips are super dry, especially in the winter in Chicago. A little bottle of hand lotion of my favorite lotion, which is, I'll put here on the screen. Gum. I love the extra watermelon flavored gum. It's so good. It's refreshing. It's light. It's not too tasty. It's great. Band-Aids, because I consistently paper cut myself. Or like scrape something or whatever. As a chronic migraine / headache / chronically ill and chronic pain girly, some ibuprofen, acetaminophen, and any other meds that are relevant to me and my body. And then of course a drink and individually packaged snacks. that's all I have. Thank you so much for sitting through this whole thing. I'm sure it's going to be quite lengthy. I'm so happy. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to be filming with this gorgeous new camera that my husband got me for Christmas. And I'm so excited to be going into 2026 with a healthy, vibrant desire to keep reading and to be living my best life. I haven't talked this much in a long time, so my voice is shot. Like, my throat hurts really bad right now. I guess I didn't tell you what my favorite lip balm is. A handful of them. I'll just put them on the screen. But the EOS Vanilla Bean. Oh, there's so many from EOS that are so good. And then Baby Lips are just incredible. They're so good. And then if you like more of like a tacky, glossy kind of balm, the Tree Hut Sugar Lips. Sorry, there's a glare from the window. Lip butter is so good. So good. The applicator is like this really smooth. You can get them in packs of like 4 online, or they're like $6 a tube, and that's kind of pricey, but it's really good and you don't use a ton of it, so it'll last you quite some time. So $6 well spent. That's all I have. Happy New Year. It's 2026, January 1st. Happy birthday to my dog. He just turned 7, which I can't believe, and I won't get into that. I will see you all in the next one. Love you. Bye.